Hi, my name is Itai and I'm the Director of Product Growth here at Bidalgo. In this video, I want to talk about impact analysis, what it is, what it's for, and how it's done, and show a few real-life examples and how the realization of this information changed the way customers manage their campaigns. In order to discuss impact analysis, we need to take a step backwards and discuss the phases of analysis in general. Everything starts with data. This is the raw numbers that you will find in grids, tables, databases. It's typically in a format that will enable you to pivot, filter, break down, calculate, etc. An example would be a list of campaigns with their spend amount, event counts, and revenue. If you take this data, massage it, mold it into a shape that can inform you of something, you get yourself information. So let's take that list of campaigns, add some calculations like division of event counts by spend and by themselves to get CPAs and conversion rates. That will inform me on which campaigns have higher CPAs than others. This is still not actionable. I don't know if the campaign is expensive because it has a different objective or a unique audience that is worth a higher CPA, or just that I need to spend my budget and push more campaigns. But from the data and the information, one can derive an insight. An insight is a short and actionable subset of information. For example, from the information I gathered on my campaigns, CPAs, and conversion rates, I can now create benchmarks for audience segments, compare each campaign to its relevant segment. Now, I'll know if a campaign is indeed poor performing for what it's supposed to do. This is actionable. I can pause it or lower its budget. This is where in most cases the analysis would end, but there is another level saved for the experts. The impact. The ability to analyze the cause and effect. Understanding of why the campaign was expensive. What did I do to the campaign settings, targeting settings, bid strategy, creative selection that I can attribute to the performance of the campaign? Some better examples can be things like, why did the last batch of creative concepts not work well? What in the creative caused them to perform poorly? Bidalgo's marketing intelligence platform drives growth by providing visibility, insights, and control over your marketing investment. And a big part of this can be done through impact analysis. Obviously, the objective of this type of analysis is to get some transparency into the black boxed algorithms owned by the channels and use this transparency to elevate the optimization capabilities to our advantage. From here on forward, I will assume that you have the data, you have the information, and likely also the insights. And what I want to focus on is how impact analysis is done. Impact analysis in Bidalgo is a set of tools that visualize the impact of changes made by the advertiser on the media in terms of performance, distribution, and scale. Understanding the cause and effect. Let's break it down to which changes we're talking about and which impacts we're looking for. So changes or edits that we're tracking can be anything like introducing new creatives to a Google or Facebook campaign. And they can also be changes in the campaign or ad set settings like bids, budgets, new ads, targeting changes, etc. And on the other side, we will be looking to understand how those edits impacted the performance, the scale, and the channel's delivery algorithms to the audience. Let's dive into a few examples. In this example here, the background story is that this advertiser wanted to fight ad fatigue, so they did what many other advertisers do and launch new ads into their campaign. These ads were fresh new creative concepts, and there was an immediate drop in the campaign's performance. The media buying team went back to the creative studio and told them that these creatives aren't performing well and that they need new creative concepts. That's a good insight, but it's not explaining the why. Using Bidalgo's impact analysis tools, we were able to see very clearly that on the same day these creatives were added, the delivery in Facebook's algorithm changed heavily towards male users. For this specific app, that was not ideal. Going back to the creative studio with this information is a completely different story. Now they can focus their efforts into creative concepts that appeal more to females. The next story is also about creative releases, but in this case to a Google app campaign. And you can see the story very clearly. The first batch didn't do much, but the second drove a spike in revenue. So now that they saw the impact on the performance, we investigated the impact on the delivery to demystify the why. And we noticed that these creative assets, with their specific characteristics of dimensions, size, video length, and even the text that was added to the campaign, shifted Google's delivery algorithm to drive a lot more intent search, which in turn increased the revenue. From here on, the investigation narrowed down to pivoting by different characteristics and see which one helps drive more search traffic. But that's a simpler task. Here's a third example. In this case, we are looking at the impact of a budget change in a Facebook CBO campaign that was not performing well. The advertiser decided to decrease its budget by more than 20%. But surprisingly, the performance improved after this change. When we analyzed the impact of that budget change on the delivery, we noticed that this triggered a change in the delivery algorithm in Facebook and pushed way more traffic to Instagram. This was a blessed change because those users have shown to have better retention for this app, and this learning is now part of their everyday analysis when changing the budgets and tweaking them to maximize the potential of all their campaigns. They were delicately adjusting the budgets to the optimal sweet spots now. The last example we have for today is another budget change impact, this time on a Google app campaign. A quick look at this graph shows the story. This campaign was performing well. The advertiser decided to increase its budget, and surprisingly, it not only increased the scale, but also improved the performance. The increase in budget shows an impact on the delivery algorithm in Google, pushing a lot more traffic towards the display network, which works well for this gaming app that they are promoting. This advertiser was so pleased with the results that they tried to repeat it in more campaigns and realized that this is a consistent behavior across all of their campaigns. In this other campaign here, they played around with the budget to test the theory, and it didn't fail. These budget changes throw the campaign into a redistribution of the delivery between the different Google inventory sources. As a summary and takeaway, as the channel's black box algorithms control the delivery and the performance, we need to unpack the transparency by learning more on the cause and effect, the impact of our marketing efforts on how the algorithms work. This is the next level of effort to dramatically elevate the performance of the optimization investments that we all make to achieve our goals. I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough and saw this as insightful as the customers that have actually experienced this. And thank you very much for your time.